say hello to my newest impulse buy. Okay, so maybe it's not exactly an impulse buy. I have been kind of eyeballing this watch for a couple of years now, but let's just say it wasn't planned out, and if I did have a wife, I would definitely have some explaining to do. But so is the bachelor life. I get to be selfish and occasionally spoil myself, but gosh, it'd be a stretch to say I planned this one out. So I ended up crossing paths with this watch a couple weeks ago, walking around a military exchange overseas. And for those of you who may not be aware of kind of the military exchange, it's basically a Walmart with a dress code. And I happened to be walking by the jewelry counter, and they had this watch sitting right there staring at me. And I've actually seen it a couple of times over the last few years, and it still happened to be there. And I figured, what the heck, I'll just go ahead and try it on and see if I like it. And put it on the wrist, and the lady working there informed me that they happen to have of course, this is the way it works, a special sale that just was ending that day, and the price I was offered was essentially something I couldn't pass up. Um, Without going down a rabbit hole of talking about kind of my investment strategy or hard assets or anything like that. I do kind of like watches, and I do obviously like having a watch collection. And at the end of the day, if I lose a job or go bankrupt, I do view these things all as assets too. So if you could get a cool watch that you've been eyeballing, that's built well from a recognizable manufacturer at a really, really attractive price, I think it's just like buying gold or silver. I mean, it's something that will appreciate over time. And if you enjoy wearing what you purchase and you can enjoy it, I think you should do it. So before I dig further into my new chronograph, I just want to hit some of the spark notes on Heuer, how they get to where they were today. Well, the watch I'm reviewing kind of harkens back to the golden age of Tag Heuer, which was around the 60s to 70s. They started with making stopwatches, particularly wristwatches, and actually, I didn't know this, they were the first Swiss timepiece in space as well, but slowly they merged into the chronograph theater while they were making special clocks for sporting events and racing. And that's when they came out with the Autavia, which you can see today. Strongly pulls on its vintage vibe, which really adds some cool factor to it. These are the current specifications for the newest watch that I have now. It's oversized compared to the original at 42 millimeters. It features the fully in-house Heuer 02 automatic movement, 80 hours power reserve. Its reference number I'm not going to read, but you can reference it there. So my first impressions can be summed up into my likes and dislikes. Initially, the first thing you can really notice about this watch is its beautiful style. I mean, it's classic, old school, cool. Modern chronographs just cannot replicate the kind of feeling that a reissue watch like this will give you. The movement's been very, very accurate as well. I'm no scientist or watchmaker. I have no special equipment, but just comparing how the watch is performing based to the time.gov website, it's roughly 3 seconds fast, which totally fine for day-to-day wear and what I need a watch for. The leather strap it comes on also is very comfortable as well. Additionally, I've made a purchase on Michael Knapp leather. I'm going to have a special blue strap made for this watch as well, and I'm looking forward to receiving that. And obviously, I'll kind of post some photos of it when it comes in and let you know how that came out. The dislikes I have so far are the size. Ironically enough, it's not so much the oversized 42 millimeters that the case is, but it is a pretty thick watch actually. It's I believe over 15 millimeters in thickness. I'll have to look it up. But, I don't have a caliper, but just judging it, it feels pretty thick on wrist, and it's not a deal breaker at all. The the lug to lug in terms of north to south on the watch are totally well done. So I mean, the watch wears just fine. It is slightly thick. And the lug width is pretty awkward too. At 21 millimeters, it's actually a big pain to try to find any kind of bracelets or straps without going down the bespoke method of having one custom made. So that's going to be a downside, obviously, just for aftermarket support if you're trying to kind of spice up your watch with anything that's not particularly from Tag or whatnot. The loom additionally is really not the greatest. I have no issue with the faux patina. I like it. It gives it a warm feel. But under night conditions, the physical loom on the hands is not the brightest. It's not like the Seamaster or something like that, but it's adequate. I mean, you'll be able to tell the time. It's just not, it's not a dive watch, which once again, it's okay for me. And then you can kind of may have gotten a glimpse of it, but the box and paper is really nothing to write home about. Omega really does this better than I think anyone else. But you're not going to be wowed by the box and papers. It's your typical Heuer set. But just summing it up, obviously this is a watch I like. I think the things that it's good at, as in the movement, the overall fit and finish, the tactility of the chronograph functions. I mean, it is really nice. It is really nice, and I'll obviously be coming back with a long-term review. But these are just kind of the big things that I've noticed just in the short time I've had the watch so far. I've noticed too that pretty much all my watch reviews are positive and all more or less very similar in the outcome, and that's because every one of these watches I'm paying for with my own money. So at the end of the day, I really do appreciate the patronage of those who have been following me so far, and like always, I do definitely try to take the feedback I get and apply it as appropriately as I possibly can. And until next time, so long and stay healthy. Bye.